Welcome everybody to Tights Frame of Mind, episode number whatever the hell point five. Okay, so it's been a hot minute. It's been a busy month for me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, first of all, I am dressed. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you are on Patreon, you notice, but I am sort of a pantyhose VHS player today. I got myself a VHS look. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool. Um, I am wearing some good old-fashioned legs that there was a run in them when I was doing squats earlier today at the gym. So a little bummed about that, but you know what? What are you going to do? Okay, so today there's lots of good gossip that I have for you that involves me, other people, lots of fun stuff. So let's get into it. First of all, I kind of ran into an article that I wanted to read called "Real Men Wear Tights," which is I'm just going to read it to you, okay? If I may be so bold. So the article starts. It might be a hard sell to average Joe, but tough guys do wear tights. It's true. Think of the Renaissance warriors. Think of Errol Flynn, Superman, and Kobe Bryant. They've all worn tights and lived to tell about it. The tights actually have shown off their nicely toned muscles. Maybe average Joe is worried about his legs being a little limp. But Brendan Routh, the new Superman, so this you can tell this article's a little bit old, has got nothing to worry about. He looked good in tights, gushes Louise Minchbach. Gushes. Costume designer for Superman Returns, which opens in theaters on Wednesday. A lot of effort went into those tights. There were nearly 75 fittings for his high-tech, ultra-thin costume as Mingbach and her team literally tried to iron out any wrinkles in the fabric. The result is somewhat sheer, seamless tights that Mingbach compares to women's pantyhose. If you hold them up to the light, you'll see through them, she says with a laugh. They're actually made of a fabric called Milliskin, a spandex blend. I've never heard of that Milliskin. If you have, let me know. To Mingbach's surprise, Routh wasn't embarrassed by the process of the customers going over every inch of his body, or by the fact that in today's society, it's usually women who wear tights. Men are not used to showing off their legs, but he was strangely unself-conscious about it. Maybe because it was Superman and he knew what he was going into. He probably knew he couldn't just wear a cape. Mingbach, however, doesn't put every Tom, Dick, or Wolverine into tights. She also was the costume designer on the first two X-Men films, for which there was a conscious decision not to put the characters in spandex. X-Men wore tights in the comics, but they're not the Man of Steel. Director Bryan Singer, who also directed Superman Returns, and also, for the record, is a pedo bad man, felt the costume should be in protective gear. They needed to be protected. Superman doesn't. That's why Superman can wear tights. Okay, I can dig it. Superman's tough. He can dress delicately. But Routh wasn't the only guy in tights this year. NBA stars such as Bryant and Vince Carter are wearing them to the court, and even far less athletic looking Jack Black was wearing it in Nacho Libre. Well, there you go, people. Nacho Libre. I kind of forgot about that, but Jack Black did wear tights in that movie. Now, let me get to the gossip, or shall I say, the ribaldry that I have to tell you. So, where do I start? Okay, so first of all, just this weekend, it was a pretty crushing weekend for me because I managed to actually have a pantyhose three-way on Friday night, and then just a regular little one-on-one um, on Saturday night. And then on Sunday night, I did a photo shoot with these two new pantyhose models that I'm mentoring, who are named the Nyloness and Holdt. They're a couple, and I found them on FetLife and introduced them to Pantyhose, and they got into it, and we have been working together. And the photos are hot. Now, if you guys are part of the Patreon, they're on the Patreon, so you can actually see all the photos. I took them myself. Like seriously, these guys are very sexy. It almost has me having heterosexual thoughts. I mean, it's a shocking thing, but what can I say? And I'm gonna have them on the show eventually. I just need to figure out a way to get three people on one mic because it has been a disaster getting this mic to work. In fact, I do apologize for the last episode. Apparently, I recorded the entire thing without the mic working and like a sap. I just uploaded it to the internet and just sort of derped along. So my apologies on that. So that out of the way, then I went with the Nyloness and Holt to a munch from FetLife, which basically is sort of like everybody meets at a restaurant and there's like a discussion of whatever kink is the topic of the night. And I obviously showed up in, some pantyhose, but it was demure. And the topic was about master slave relationships, which I have to say I actually learned a lot about it. I didn't realize that it was as emotionally fulfilling as I had originally uh like I originally thought. I originally thought that it was a much more abusive kind of like maybe a societally acceptable way to allow abuse, and that there was a power imbalance, and that there was just a whole lot of darkness there that was sort of not spoken about. But I learned a lesson and I learned a lot about it. And I also met a very cool lady there who I don't want to name her name yet, but she's a fet lifer. And this was really exciting because she took a shining to me because she found me interesting. Obviously, I'm terribly interesting and very, very, very handsome as my face begins to sag in my 40s, and my thoughts just trail off into nothing. But that night I was actually interesting, I think. And she took a shinning to me and I got her information, and she is a possible sugar mama, which I've never had a sugar mama for pantyhose wearing. I've had daddies, you know, throughout my life. I have always had those, but a sugar mama. And she's into interesting things like like shaving. She likes to shave, and I was like, "Well, that's perfect." I mean, I literally can have my body shaved by you. Like that seems like it's winning the lottery. And also, she liked my hat that I have, which that says Harry is scary, and she wants to make a hat for me that says Shorn is porn, which I think is pretty awesome. And I would totally wear that, and I will totally wear that because I don't know. It's cool. I mean, look, there's no bigger kick than like having a fan write and want to do some sort of tribute to you or anything like that. But even then, even with just that, there's nothing finer than the well, first of all, the Patreons that have joined. I want to do a special shout out to Apollo 87 for becoming a member of Denier Deluxe this month. Remember, guys, it's $15 a month to see video versions of all of these episodes, like all of them. And you get to access to the Pantyhose Kingdom full-on photo archives. There's thousands of photos, including the models that are on the site that are continually added to, and what I call like my collection of spank bank material, which are internet finds that I have been amassing for the past 20 years. And it's a huge collection. You can literally lose days to it, just, having fun. So you get access to that, and it's just $15 a month. It helps support the podcast. It helps me buy new cords for my microphone so you can actually hear me when I speak. And it's a community to chat with people and, do the good old fun, exchanging of pics, which we all, love to do. So if you could join that, that would be awesome. If not, I'd still appreciate you guys listening. In fact, I got a wonderful letter from this is kind of the reason why I think I do what I do other than my massive ego, but I got a lovely letter from the this guy on FetLife whose name is Mantyhose Ruse, who's a 25-year-old male, and I got the letter that said, "You were one of my reasons for being drawn to men in pantyhose when I was younger." And that to me is so cool because I remember when I was young being so into Mike from Mike's Pantyhose, which I still talk to Mike. We're getting him back on the show. Don't worry, I'm not going to let him get out of that. But um it's I wrote back, wow, that's such a wonderful compliment. You made my day. And he wrote, thank you. I'm glad I did. It's been a part of my fantasy. And it's just really cool. So, if you're out there and you're sort of, thinking about putting yourself out there, you never know. You could be inspiring a young person to wear. Um, or you could just be inspiring them to pop off a load. Either way, it's good. And the only thing that I can say, if I can sidebar a little bit, is the amount of pantyhose models now that are online is truly inspirational, but it is it is dog eat dog out there. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, it was sort of like there was like 12 of us maybe, like there was like one or two people that showed a face and then there were like, a handful of people that didn't show their face but showed their body. But it was sort of it was more of a like tribe sized, but now if you go on Twitter and on because I'm not going to call it X because that's fucking stupid. There are so many OnlyFan type these guys that are like, super gorgeous, like in way better shape than we ever were when, because they didn't have that kind of exercise technology or exercise education and access to steroids that back in the 90s that in the 2000s we didn't have that, I mean we had versions of it, but for the most part we had to get off our fat asses and go to the gym. I know I did. um uh and it's just crazy how many models are out there, and there are so many talented ones too. And I'm trying to get them to come on the show, but believe it or not, a lot of them are webcammers that do not publicly wear pantyhose, but because I have that eye, I got that eye. I know how to spot a hoser. It's not difficult. Basically, just go online, and if you see a guy that has like really immaculately shaved legs, it's like a dead giveaway. Um, I write them and I say, "Hey, have you ever tried pantyhose?" And then they're like, "How did you know? How did you know? I love them." And then they film themselves, doing their thing, and we have a good old fashioned pantyhose rub out. Um, but these guys are just like, there's so many gorgeous guys that I want to have on the show, but because they're a little shy about being known for pantyhose, which I guess I kind of have a hard time understanding because if you're already doing it online anyway, I mean, what's the damage? I mean, there's not really a way that things can be used against you if you're sort of already doing that as a way to make money. And it does seem like a very unlikely thing to happen, although there are moments that happen where you always have these great moments of fear about people revealing your identity online. And I've maintained that for the most part in the pantyhose community, that is not something that is generally a thing that, has to be worried about, that people don't do that, and that if somebody it finds a photo of you, it's because they themselves are wearers, and that there's not really any reason to be afraid of it. Well, there is a big uh there is a big asterisk to that because I actually have been talking with a great guy whose name I won't say now because there is a divorce process happening. But this guy actually had a now ex-wife secretly find the pictures that he took of himself wearing pantyhose and actually privately sent them to his friends, his coworkers, people that would affect him socially as a way to basically get revenge on him for doing something that she considered to be abhorrent. Now, here's the kicker though. I did a little research myself talking to this guy. And I did a little hunting on the internet, and it's easy to find people, it's easy to find social websites, and I found this particular woman's site, and oddly enough, even though she is so full of rage against the audacity of her ex-husband wearing pantyhose behind her back, and she's trying to paint it as though he is not uh he's not acceptable to be around their young daughter, which, like, this guy is a stand-up guy, like he's a great dad, and he's also like he looks great in pantyhose too, but that's just a sidebar. She's trying to, keep custody away from him, just doing some really low blow uh bitch moves. Well, I did a little snooping, and as it turns out, the ex-husband is blocked on the Facebook page. However, Pantyhose King was not. And I got to look through all of this. And do you want to know what that psycho is doing? She has not even publicly made any sort of acknowledgement that the divorce has even happened. There are photos of her with the ex-husband on their wedding days, proposing to each other, all this bullshit diatribe of, like, I found the love of my life at the pictures of them with their daughter, who she claims is such a risk for the daughter, but yet she hired a photographer for every fucking event that she has. And basically, we talked and got sort of the idea and agreed on the idea that this divorce had nothing to do with the fact that she was even probably upset about the pantyhose. It was more of the fact that she has this very much delusional idea of what her life is. Like, everything is perfect, must be perfect. She must present a certain way. And because her husband had the audacity to be a unique human being who actually just has a normal fetish that, it's not a big deal. She saw that as a violation of her perfect world and wanted to go after him privately. Meanwhile, keeping the Facebook page completely free of any sort of inkling that there is a fucking divorce. So we will be having him on when the divorce is finalized, and we'll be getting into the nitty-gritty of that and the horror story that he went through. But he's going to make it through, and he wants to make a point to everybody out there that even if this happens to you, you can get through it. But you know what? One thing that I want to continue to reiterate is that let's always remember that as pantyhose wearers, it's not weird what we're doing. It's not. Like, it's just not weird. Anybody who thinks it's weird is just dated. Now, I wouldn't wear like this cool outfit out and about, mainly because it's a little risque. It's not, publicly something I would wear, only because, you can pretty much see, I could wear it in public. I would just look like a hoe. But I do wear pantyhose with shorts in public, and there's just, again, there's no reason to be ashamed of it. So many guys do it, and so many guys want to do it. I literally got four guys to try it this past weekend. I know I feel like such a fucking flyboy slut hoe, right? I feel like a pimp, an old pimp. Oh, and okay, this is a little bit braggy, but I actually had I actually did a little professional pantyhosing this weekend too. I did a lap dance for the first time in a long time. It's, I've been hitting the gym, I've been feeling better. So I moved my pantyhose ass for a little bit of a little bit of a feat. And it's this is so shame based, but like I get such a I get such a like a self-esteem boost when I find out that I still can be considered attractive as somebody who wears pantyhose because look, y'all, I know that I'm 44 years old and I am certainly not I mean I'm okay with what I look like, but there are moments where I wake up and I see myself in the mirror or like I'm, getting ready, brushing my teeth or whatever, and I look at myself and I'm like, oh dear Lord, the sagging has begun. Um, and you can battle that at the gym, but like, what are you going to do about the face? I can't afford a facelift, and plus, I would never get one because I have a feeling that it just won't look good because I can't afford the good shit. So that is a little bit about what's going on with me. I really would love to know what's going on with you guys. I want to know your stories. I've realized that the algorithm likes hearing about everybody's like coming of age in pantyhose. So if you are interested in being on the show, please write me at the Pantyhose King on Instagram, or you can write me on the Patreon page if you want to join the Patreon. That's even better. If you want to be on the show and talk, we can talk about anything you want. We can be as explicit or as discreet as you want to be. Uh, it's a lot of fun. And it's also a great reason for us to have a good cam session after the show is over because, let's face it, if you're all charged up from a pantyhose chat, you got to take care of business. At least I do. But I am a slut that is also a whore, allegedly. Um, so that's just sort of what I got for the episode today. It's tough to be here alone. I do have Higher Lycra has expressed interest in co-hosting more often, and I'm gonna give him crap about this on the air. He is impossible to get in touch with. And as you all know with Rob is making cookies. Rob is a cookie making machine, and I miss him dearly, but I can't pull him away from the cookies, and it makes me sad. But you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I can. The show is at this time sustainable from a financial standpoint. I mean, I'm certainly not, uh I'm not changing a tax bracket from it. And I know that the show is going to be really dependent on the devoted few that listen. So I really want to know, what do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to be on the show? Help me out. Like, give me your ideas because my brain is it is fried from, you know, Adderall and stress and doing my day job, which I do have. I have one of those. Sometimes I get people write me, they're like, "Oh, you're a pantyhose king all the week," and I'm like, "No, that would be nice, but I don't have that kind of pull. I don't have a full-time pantyhose body, as it were, and I frankly don't have the energy to have one of those bodies. I mean, there there are some pantyhose wearers that are like super jacked. There's this one guy, and I would hate to actually use his name because I know that he's a closeted bisexual, but Jesse. And the reason why I use Jesse's name is because he actually and I'm gonna get this out because this guy actually broke my heart. It was a pantyhose heartbreak story. We had been talking for at least 12 years. We had started probably around 2004. And then eventually I moved to the town that Jesse lived in. I mean, and throughout the years, we had been sending each other videos. You know what I mean. Like videos of me doing this and that and pantyhose. And I would paint my toenails for him. And every once in a while, he would find a girl that would date him. And I'd be really excited for him. But then they'd break up and he would always question, whether or not, if he was gay, and I would, sort of try to say to him, you're not gay, you're probably bi. Uh, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal for bi guys because I think they have a lot more difficulty with the internalization of it because they're straight until they're not, which although I'm just gonna be honest with you, everybody. If you wear pantyhose 5 to 1, I mean, come on, you're going to be a little bi, and that's not an insult. I'm just saying I've met very few exclusively heterosexual men that wear. I've met many men who have, after years of wearing, found themselves becoming a little bi-curious with the pantyhose. And I too become bi-curious. I have been becoming more and more interested in experimenting with women who wear because, let's face it, as I get older, I don't know if as I get older, I mean, I kind of thought that I would be less of a slut, but as it turns out, the sluthood is turned up to 10. And what's also great too, and this is for the young people out there. Getting older is awesome because you also don't judge other people about their looks as much. Like I used to be petrified that in my 20s that I would only be attracted to people who were in my 20s and in my 30s, and that was gonna be where I froze because I'd met so many guys who sort of did the Peter Pan thing, no pun intended, and basically stopped the maturation process at like 30 and could not and would not date anyone over the age of 30, even though they themselves would be, in their 40s and whatnot. And they had this very ageist way of thinking, and it used to frighten me deeply because I thought, no, that can't be the end. I can't, I gotta find somebody before I'm 30. Are you kidding me? I can't even pick out, an outfit in that time. So, uh, I was so thrilled the other day at the gym when I saw this fly gilf. This granddad was like, he was a fox. And I mean, I was just giving him the glad eye like nobody's business. And I thought, yes, I am actually maturing. And so now the pool of possibilities is just, it's opening up. And like I couldn't believe it the other night. I was just, sitting and, out here at my in my desk, and I thought I'd get on the old grinder and see if I could find a pantyhose playmate, and I found one. And then in the next minute I found two, and I thought, oh, okay, well let's see if this threesome works out. And I asked the other one if they were cool, and the coolness was agreed, and everybody showed up, and the connection was immediate, and it was a blast. Oh my God. I felt like the luckiest duck because I was the youngest one at 44. So I kind of got like the star treatment. Like, you guys, I can't believe that I get him. I'm so lucky that I got I got to be in a sandwich, a pantyhose sandwich. Are you kidding me, man? I feel so lucky, man. And I want to say to everybody out there who has a hard time getting to know people with pantyhose, hit me up. I will be happy to help you be I will be your pantyhose matchmaker, your lifestyle advisor. Like, and I will do it if you join the Patreon. I'll include it with the $15 because A, I think it's cool. B, I'm desperate. And C, like offering more. I mean, I gotta try because a lot of y'all are free members, and it's cool that you are. But like honestly, there's nothing that you don't get anything with the free members except for the occasional photo that I pop out. But like I mean, bless your heart if you think a photo of me every once in a while is worth signing up for. But like if you guys just splurge like maybe just once every few months or so, because it's a monthly thing. Yeah, support the show. You get to see all those pictures. And I mean, you can save them if you want to. Nobody's gonna judge you. I'm not gonna say anything. Save those photos. You can spank them later for free, but you just give me the 15 for the access to it, and I will be grateful for forever. I mean, and I want to be available for you. I mean, but I just can't do I, I get a lot of guys that are like, "Can you cam with me, for free?" And I'm like, as much as, I'd like to, do that, um, you know, uh I could actually be doing that for people who are actually supporting the show. So if you want to cam with me and you are part of the Denier Deluxe Club, I'll cam with you. We can I have these great Lovin's toys. Uh you can buzz me into eternity if that's what you enjoy. I mean, and I love getting to know all of you. You guys are great, and you guys are the reason why I keep doing this. And hopefully, I can keep doing this until, you know, I am actually just dust and nylon. And I have no intention of quitting, mainly because it's once a month. The pantyhose urges just they come at you real hard, and it's something that I gotta talk about. Like it's an exorcism of it, so to speak, but not in a bad way. It's just like, you get full moon horny and then you gotta, talk about it. And I'm currently at that full moon horny. So that's about it. Again, if you have any suggestions, want to be on the show, anything at all, write me. You can find my emails in the show notes. Hopefully the sound is okay on this one. I'm praying that it is. Um, and I hope y'all are having a good 2026. I know things are pretty rough out there for some in America. Well, everywhere actually, really. It's not. The world's a scary place. So let's make this a bastion of comfort and masturbation and pantyhose, shall we? Right? And let's see. So I think I'm checking my list here. Yeah, that's it. That's my show. So I hope you enjoyed it, and leave me comments, leave me likes, and subscribe if you can on YouTube. I know that people don't want to do it because they don't want to get caught listening to a show about pantyhose. But honestly, who gives a fuck? Well, other than like maybe a psycho wife, but you know what, we'll find out a way to deal with those psycho wives. I'm sure, like I'm sure that I have enough knowledge to help every single person with every single issue that could pop up, because I, as a single man, know everything about relationships. I also have read every book that's ever been written, and well, except for Erica Kirk's book, because no. Um and I've also am super duper smart, and I'm definitely not the type of person that would be so stupid as to upload an entire fucking video onto YouTube without even realizing that there was no sound on it, because I would you'd think that I would have at least listened to 5 seconds of that video, but did I do it? No, because I am incompetent and lazy. But I look good in pantyhose, so hopefully that's the trade. But oh my goodness, I hope this works, guys, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to buy a new microphone, and that ain't cheap, which means that will be a hot minute. So pray to the pantyhose gods this works, and hopefully it does. And until next time, keep on wearing, and I will talk to you soon. Peace, love, and nylon. Bye bye.